If you've watched golf in the last 3 weeks, you've probably heard Bryson DeChambeau's name. He just won the US Open for the second time. He's been all over YouTube. Golf has been growing significantly on the platform. And today I just want to talk a little bit about the importance of an athlete posting on social, why athletes are doing it, how much of a commitment it is. And honestly, like in the Bryson example, how much it's changed the perception of him as a talent. And so that's what we're going to dig into today, Kevin.
Yep.
I want you to hit me with some social stats. But before you do that, if you're not subscribed to Nightlight, click down below. It's a newsletter that I put out every single Thursday. And then I talk about the topics on this podcast in a little bit more in depth. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you click on that. And Kevin, hit me with some social stats on Bryson.
Hitting you with stats. Yeah, so I know one of your questions at the beginning was, how many times has he posted this year, right?
Yeah, I think this is why this was an important question that I asked you, because when we first had this discussion before we recorded this podcast, I've had so many athletes talk to me over the past 2 years that they want to post content on YouTube. And the first question I always ask them is how committed are you to this? Because we've seen so many examples, Steph Curry, The Rock, all these celebrities, athletes come into the platform and they'll post 2 to 3 videos and then they'll wait 4 months, post another video. It's so inconsistent. And then eventually they realize that they just don't want to do it. This isn't worth it to them. And so I think this is an important statistic, because when I first met Bryson, this is one thing I asked him. I was like, how committed are you to this? And I think the statistics will show how committed he is to this YouTube channel.
Yeah, I would say, since January, 20 videos. So you're looking at about at least once a week, once every 2 weeks. And I think something that's interesting about it is half of them are collab videos too. A lot of the people he's getting on there are pretty high caliber people as well. So half his videos, he has somebody pretty big on them as well.
Yeah, which started as mostly golf creators on YouTube that he was, by design trying to pull audience from so he can increase his audience base on his channel. And then we've now seen celebrities come into the fold, Chris Pratt. I almost guarantee you that we're going to see way bigger celebrities on the channel now that he just won the US Open and he's the most liked golfer in the entire world at the moment. We're going to start seeing, I'm not trying to ruin this, but we're going to start seeing some big celebs on the channel. So if you're not subscribed, you should probably start watching Bryson DeChambeau. And they're longer videos. They're not quickly edited. They're played out. You get to see the rawness of him playing golf and not quickly edited. You get to really feel his personality and who he really is, which I think was important to him, is controlling the perception of the type of person he actually is, not letting the media dictate who they're saying he is.
And we'll definitely get into that. So since, the US Open, 130,000 new YouTube subscribers.
So we're currently filming this on Thursday. So in 4 days, 130,000.
That's in the last 30 days. You're looking at around 80,000 from just US Open. Obviously that was when he got a ton of his new followers, new subscribers. That is 15 million views on YouTube in the last 30 days. It's an 80% increase.
Now, a lot of people will say those numbers feel small.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if you compare it to a roster, a night roster that we represent, those numbers may feel small. Here's the reason why they're not small. Every single viewer on Bryson's channel, it's almost 90% US, which is unheard of, is 90% US. Also, it's a lot of the audience is over the age of 16. It's older individuals. It's not 7-year-olds. It's not a kid's channel. And he's not getting a ton of views from shorts. A lot of the views are from long form videos. Yeah. And so I think it's important to remember those statistics, because I think a lot of channels pull a lot of views because they're getting tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of views on short form content. Their audience is incredibly international. India, Russia, Southeast Asia. Bryson basically has no audience from those territories. It's predominantly America.
Interesting.
And the audience is older.
And this is the best stat. I don't watch golf, but now I do.
Did you watch it at all?
God, yeah. I was
you watched it on Sunday?
Yeah, especially when I started hearing, because I'm trying to get posts ready and stuff to congratulate him and everything. But now I'm watching it next time. I don't know what he's gonna compete in next. But
well, technically he's teeing off. Also, I'm not trying to glaze on Bryson here, but I just think that hopefully an athlete will watch this podcast and be like, I need to step up my game because of what Bryson is doing and how well it's worked for him. But he is playing this weekend in the Nashville Live event. And then I think 2 weeks after that, he plays in the British Open, which is the last PGA major of the year.
Last major.
Which will then lead into a few other live events. He's not playing in the Olympics. I don't even want to get into it. It makes me so mad. But yeah, he has a few more big events coming up.
So you talked about consistency. Why is his consistency different than other athletes? You know, what is he doing right?
Well, what he's doing right is he's figuring out how to post really unique videos on a week-over-week basis. It's not a situation where he's like, I have a good idea, I'm going to just record it and film, I'm going to film it and then post it this week, and then once I figure out another good idea, I'll post it in a couple months. Like they're well planned out. It's like a pretty well-oiled machine now, where like his content team understands what they're filming next week, understands what they're filming the week after. Like it is, and you said he's posted almost 20 straight weeks. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. Like weekly videos is the goal. And I think it's so important to hit that, because people then see that like he's taking this seriously. Like he wants to be a YouTube creator. It's his second career. He's a full-time professional golfer. He's a YouTuber second. But as like we all know, being a YouTuber content creator is a full-time job. And I think Bryson has like juggled the two like very well. And we just did an all hands and Bryson spoke, which wasn't planned. He like jumped on the Zoom and spoke. And like one thing I asked him was, how much time are you spending on your YouTube channel? And he said he's spending about a day to a day and a half per week. So just think about that. Like there's only 7 days in the week. You know, you're spending a full day and a half on your YouTube channel, your content business, and then the rest of it is like, I'm a professional golfer. That's a significant commitment to your week. And so I think if you're an athlete watching this and you want to replicate what Bryson is doing, like that should be the commitment. Like you're going to have to spend a full day a week to this craft if you expect to compete, because the people you're competing against at this level are doing this 7 days a week. So even the golf channels that he's competing against, Good, Grant, GM Golf, like all these guys, it's their full-time job. Bryson is competing against them. He has a leg up because he is a professional golfer, and he brings that aspect to his videos because he's the best in the world at the moment. So he does have a leg up on them, but he's trying to get done in a day and a half what they're doing in 7.
And this second point that you said was like, he's very relatable. And you kind of mentioned it earlier, how he can kind of like tell his full story and not just what's in the media, you know, when he's through his social channels.
Yeah. Kind of goes back to the theory that I talk about a lot, which is like time spent with a person is very important. And the time spent with Bryson DeChambeau pre-YouTube channel was essentially 0. The only time spent, if you're a consumer, the only time you spent with Bryson was reading the interviews that were published from these like nonsense publications saying he was a bad guy, or the time you spent with him was like a post interview after he played golf, or watching him on the PGA Tour, but you're not really spending time with him. You're just seeing a few shots. Now people are spending 10, 20, 30 minutes a week with Bryson, and he's able to control the content. He gets to walk down hole 7 and talk about his 3D irons and why he does that and why that's important. Like he now gets to control the entire narrative of who he actually is. He gets to show his true self. Before his YouTube channel, he had no way of doing that. And so I think that's like, it's become so important to his brand to show people who he actually is.
And then like the last thing that I read in the section of your nightlight was that you can tell he's like passionate about making content too.
Yeah. 100%. You can tell like he truly loves this. It's not like he's when he's filming these videos, he's usually not like in a bad mood. He's cheerful. He's doing what he loves. Also, I think that's really important. Like he's not playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
it's like it'd be a little weird if
although he did in Rivals, he did play Fortnite.
That's a good point. He has played Fortnite, but it would be a little strange if he was not golfing in his content and he was like playing video games, and you could tell he's like, I hate playing video games. No, he's like doing what he loves. He actually loves golfing, and it comes off in his videos, and like you can really tell.
I was watching spinning the Chaos Wheel golf shot challenge, and I think like as a person that like I don't watch a ton of golf content, but that format is just like he's making content for the platform too. Like it works so well. It's like fun, interesting. And like as someone who doesn't watch a ton of golf stuff, I'm like, oh, I would watch that from, it's interesting.
I mean, the video of him like playing with a Walmart set of clubs.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone has been in a Walmart and walked down the sports equipment aisle and like seen Walmart golf clubs, and they're $70. So to like see a professional golfer play with a set of Walmart clubs is like an interesting content idea, and it got millions of views. So his content team is actually, I think, very good at understanding what do people want to see Bryson do, or what is really engaging content that will do well on YouTube? Then all of a sudden we insert Bryson, and now people really want to watch that, but it's already a clickable idea.
I liked this. He said this quote, what's nice, and this is about, you know, making content. What's nice is when I'm playing these challenges, it keeps me in that creative mindset, keeps me focused on playing golf. And even though I'm filming, I'm still practicing and working. It's a symbiotic relationship I have with YouTube that allows me to be the best and give my best to fans. And I know that he was saying it too in one of his post-game interviews, that like when he's like on the course, he's like thinking about like the people in the comments and like the relationship and the community that he's built there that has made him like a better golfer. And like he thinks about that, and it's part of his game now, you know?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, he, if you watch any of his interviews that he did after he won the US Open, like he talked a lot about YouTube. And it's funny too, the articles now, they don't say professional golfer Bryson DeChambeau, they say YouTuber and professional golfer, which now is like kind of become the brand, is like, and he leans into it. He's like, I'm just a YouTuber. I'm just doing YouTube and playing golf.
Yeah.
So he's leaned into that, but you can tell like he really loves it.
Yeah.
And so if I'm a golfer, if I play tennis, I think individual athletes have the biggest opportunity because you see their face, they're competing just with themselves. Like if you're a tennis player, it's just you, right? And so your ability to then create content and show your personality, to me, is like an individual athlete. Track and field is another one. We have swimming last night in the US Olympic trials. Like now you're creating content as like a swimmer. You know, we represent, some track and field athletes and things like that. I think if you're an individual athlete, the opportunity on YouTube is tremendous to grow your brand. And I've seen the effect of launch a YouTube channel, pull views, massive sponsors come in, because they're like, not only is this person an amazing athlete, they now have this content business that makes them way more interesting because people are like truly bought into who they are as people. America's unfortunately not had a lot of greats in the tennis sphere. But I think if I'm an American tennis player right now, I'm like, I need to replicate what Bryson's doing.
Sure.
I need to start creating content and showing people who I am.
Yeah.
And same goes with a lot of individual athletes. And so I think like hopefully that all those athletes will see the Bryson DeChambeau YouTuber headline and be like, should I be thinking about creating content?
Yeah. And the last thing I got to ask, did you see the tweet, the infamous tweet between him and Patrick Mahomes?
I saw the tweet. I think it's getting scheduled.
Okay.
I'm not up to speed on it.
Gotcha.
I'm sure I could find out in a couple phone calls. But it's like that's going to continue to happen, right? Patrick Mahomes and I think Travis Kelce, right? It's okay. So those three are going to play. I know Patrick Mahomes is a good golfer. I have no idea about Travis Kelce. A lot of people play golf. Country music stars play golf. Athletes play golf. Celebrities play golf. And a lot of the big celebrities already playing pro-ams. I do think a lot of them now are like, I want to be on Bryson's channel.
Sure.
And so now it's just like, can we get it scheduled? Because like Bryson still has a hectic schedule, and you got to coordinate with someone like Patrick Mahomes, who, I mean, it's late June. He's like going into OTAs or mini camp like pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you're an athlete, great content, but make sure that you're actually dedicated to your craft. Like you are being a professional athlete, this takes just as much time, and it's a full-time job. So
go pick up a second job. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, pick up a second job. Which like most of them, if they really want to excel and grow a community and grow a real fan base and increase the ad dollars that they're making and increase the sponsorships and be an incredibly likable person where the narrative is not dictated by the media, then it's for you. And hopefully this podcast was helpful. And if you're not subscribed to Nightlight, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you again next week.